The juiciest betrayal of the year just occurred in court, so hold on tight, family. After all these years, can you imagine having your so-called ride or die turn the tables on you? Indeed, we are discussing YNW Bortlen, who was formerly devoted to the core but is currently on the hot seat after agreeing to a plea deal that has Melly's family and supporters seeing red. While Melly's future is in jeopardy, did he truly just save several life sentences and the potential death penalty? The worst part is that he won't even acknowledge firing the gun. However, this gunner's plea has somehow miraculously made the prosecution smile broadly. Is this street code betrayal, you ask? Or is the harsh, icy environment of the rap game Survival 101? He is being referred to as a snitch, a traitor, and a cheese eater by the hip-hop community. Tension rises, Melly's retrial is postponed, and the drama continues unabated. How did a car ride, 2 terrible deaths, and a night in 2018 turn into the most intense legal battle in recent memory? We're going to reveal every secret, betrayal, and shock that will leave you speechless. So stay tuned. Fall. You don't want to blink, I assure you. A betrayal like the one that made your blood boil in your popcorn game is what happened with YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen, so pay attention, family. Furthermore, we're just beginning to explore. When Melly's closest friends and co-workers, Sack Chaser and Juvie, were killed during what was ostensibly a routine late-night studio session back in 2018, his entire existence was turned upside down. A bright career on the verge of collapse, 2 young lives lost, and a web of deception, cover-ups, and street code politics that would cause even the most devoted supporters to reevaluate their entire allegiance theory. As they exited the studio, Melly initially claimed it was a drive-by shooting, a senseless act of violence directed at them. Investigators, however, didn't believe it. The location of the bodies, GPS information, and video footage all combined to create a terrifyingly different picture. One that said Borland was the driver, and Melly was the gunman. The situation was disorganized, perplexing, and ominous, cinematic. Blood, broken glass, expended shells, and 2 dead pals in the back seat of a car that ought to have been filled with wonderful energy and positive thoughts. Let's now discuss Bortlen, the man at the heart of this controversy. He portrayed himself as devoted to Melly for years, supporting him through thick and thin, despite the rumors circulating on the internet and in the media. The problem is that legal survival and street code allegiance aren't always compatible. Prosecutors' pressure was too much by September 9, 2025. Bortlen took the unimaginable action in the face of several life sentences and the possibility of death. He agreed to a plea bargain. It's not just a request, family. In the notorious Gunner plea, he admitted his involvement after the fact, concealing evidence and manipulating witnesses. But most importantly, he did not place Melly at fault directly. Take a moment to process that. There is a lot of street culture. Fans of hip-hop are going crazy. Traitor, cheese, snitch. Words are flying all over the place. And what do you know? Legally speaking, Bortlen didn't even acknowledge his guilt in the way that the general public does. Despite being a vital tool for prosecutors, his plea shielded him from the worst punishments possible. That is a really high-stakes game of chess. While Melly's retrial is continually being postponed until 2027, he leaves with 10 years in prison, 6 years of probation, and a ticket to start over. Fans are now questioning whether it was a callous betrayal or self-preservation. However, it doesn't stop there. The court drama was not limited to showcasing legal wrangling. It revealed a generational conflict between legal technique and street devotion. Fans, families, and even business insiders were furious and blamed Bortlen for abandoning Melly. Prosecutors, knowing that their case against Melly was about to get much stronger, grinned silently. Despite Melly not being directly when Bortlen was accused, prosecutors had significant leverage because of his correct statement, which was a sworn account of what he did following the murders. When the plea hearing became viral, the drama grew more intense. The courtroom was full. There were no phones. Fans were guessing, accusing, and defending on social media. As reporters, judges, and attorneys examined every detail of Bortlen's admissions and every word of the plea agreement, Melly's family watched in disbelief. Above all, street code emphasizes loyalty. According to the law, survival comes first. Bortlen discovered the boundary here and crossed it. The public's response cannot be disregarded either. Comments on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok varied from incredulity to perplexity. What was he doing? Stay strong, Melly. Stitches are made. Fans discussed the effect on Melly's trial in the meanwhile. Would Bortlen's behavior make the difference? Do the prosecutors have sufficient evidence to convict Melly at last? Or is this merely another episode in a story where the law and the streets clash, causing everyone to wonder who will make it out alive? Let's dissect it even more. Bortlen's appeal was more than a formality. It was a calculated risk, a deliberate move. Melly's retrial became even more uncertain as a result of his limited cooperation, which gave the prosecution solid proof of tampering and accessory charges. Legally, it is a survival strategy, but fans may view it as snitching. Law versus street, freedom versus loyalty. That's where the actual conflict lies. And you know what? Everyone is eager to see what will happen next. Because one mistake in this game has the power to permanently alter lives. Here's the twist, though. Bortlen's appeal doesn't mean that Melly's narrative is finished. Investigators are continuing excavating. Attorneys are still planning. The hip-hop community is also tense, anticipating who will triumph, who will turn against them, and who will emerge victorious. Never before have the stakes been so high. When the stakes are raised and the drama erupts. Right now, YNW Melly's world is going crazy. The courtroom drama is also causing a lot of talk on the internet and on the streets. Everyone wants to know how serious this treachery is and how much it affects Melly's already complex case after Bortlen's surprise gunner plea. Let's first make a clarification. Bortlen did not fold without cause. To escape the legal nightmare, he made a calculated move. If found guilty, he would face 5 obligatory life terms plus an extra 75 years. His plea admitted his involvement in the murders, including witness tampering to assist in concealing evidence, but it did not explicitly snitch on Melly. That's enough to chill me. Bortlen's assistance gives prosecutors significant leverage, even without naming him. Imagine the atmosphere in the courtroom that day. As the legal process developed, Melly's family watched in astonishment and shock as cameras flashed and phones recorded. A high-stakes game of chess was being played by the judge, attorneys, and prosecutors. Every statement, admission, and nod was thoughtfully chosen. Online street culture, meanwhile, exploded. Like bullets, the comments flew. Melly was betrayed by Bortlen. Greatest snitch of the century. Stay strong, family, Melly. Memes, contentious posts, and never-ending conjecture were all over social media. It was more than just a court, legal strategy. Let's dissect the scandal itself, though. Zach Chaser and Juvie, Melly's 2 friends, were killed in strange circumstances back in 2018. Melly asserted a drive-by shooting, although it was refuted by evidence. Forensic analysis, GPS triangulation, and video evidence indicated that Melly was the shooter and Bortlen was the driver, and that the killings took place inside the vehicle. Let's fast forward to 2025. Bortlen ultimately agreed to the plea agreement following years of inquiries, postponements, and mistrials. Although it was a deliberate survival tactic, the streets saw it as the ultimate betrayal. The consequences are now being examined by both fans and analysts. In particular, Bortlen's proffered assertion is important. He doesn't accuse Melly explicitly, but the information he gives about interfering with witnesses and hiding evidence gives investigators a roadmap to piece together the events. In the Melly case, legal experts are describing it as a potent instrument. Fans view it as a nightmare of snitching, which is why Melly's retrial which has been postponed until 2027, becomes tense. Every action, every statement, and every turn of events might tilt the scales. Let's now focus on public response: street forums, hip-hop communities, and social. Street forums, hip-hop communities, and social. When the request went viral, media feeds went crazy. Outrage, memes, and conspiracy theories were prevalent in everything from Instagram postings to TikToks to tweets. Most fans are furious, but some feel sorry for Bortlen because they understand his survival instincts and legal approach. He was betrayed by a traitor, snitch, and F***king. The story is obvious. The betrayal stings, and street loyalty seems breached. Here's the worst part, though. Goes beyond sentimentality and reputation on the street. Bortlen's plea is carefully crafted from a legal standpoint. Accessory after the fact, he is held responsible for these charges, which spare him from the worst punishments. He receives credit for time served, 6 years of probation, and 10 years in prison. Since Bortlen has verified information they had already suspected, prosecutors are strengthening their case for Melly's retrial. Giving them a puzzle with missing pieces is similar. Appeared. Consider it. Without even mentioning him, Melly's co-defendant just took a calculated move that might have an indirect effect on his trial. There is one indisputable fact that is reflected in the tense courtroom situations, the commotion on social media, and the street chatter. Not the end of the narrative. Now, every hip-hop insider, fan, and attorney is keeping a careful eye on things, anticipating the next move, revelation, or twist. Melly's legal team is reportedly incensed and frantically trying to change their approach, according to anonymous sources that only genuine investigative insiders can cite. We knew it was coming, according to one source. Leaked stories also allude to internal memoranda and strategy discussions that depict a legal team under pressure, recalculating every possible conclusion. But the way Bortlen structured his plea, that's next-level chess. Melly has to rethink every move now. On the street, however, the story is very obvious. A snitch is Bortlen. Fans are sketching. Legal survival and loyalty clashed spectacularly. The fury is genuine, and the similarities are unavoidable. There are countless hashtags, memes, and popular threads on social media that analyze the betrayal in great depth. Everyone is curious about Melly's reaction. What will his family think about the embarrassment? As we look at the repercussions within hip-hop culture, the drama keeps getting worse. Friends, partners, and industry insiders are contributing. While some accuse Bortlen of being a traitor who sacrificed loyalty for freedom, others defend him as being clever. The argument is dividing the community, as evidenced by interviews, social media videos, and even TikTok breakdowns. When life is at stake, the law or street code takes precedence. The most explosive section comes next. Not only is Melly's retrial postponed, strategically, it is now at risk. Even if it was indirect, Bortlen's proffered statement might provide prosecutors with the background, dates, and assurances they need to put pressure on Melly in unexpected ways. The courtroom turns into a psychological battleground where every word, gesture, and tactic is closely examined in addition to being a legal battlefield. Both fans and critics are already speculating about different scenarios in which minor nuances in Bortlen's words could have sealed Melly's doom. Some claim that it might tip the scales even in the absence of snitching. Others contend that Melly's defense team still has options, highlighting the fact that Bortlen's plea is circumstantial and does not implicate Melly directly. Both in court and online, the tension is evident. A storm that spans two universes has been created by Bortlen's efforts, his harsh loyalty laws, and the justice system's icy assessments. An already contentious case is now under pressure from every tweet, post, and remark. The stakes are really high. Melly's standing, career, and freedom are at stake. This is the sort of controversy that goes beyond music, even though Bortlen must balance between legal survival and public censure. The battle is no longer solely a legal one. It's a hotspot for culture. The general public, hip-hop communities, and casual fans are all observing, anticipating, and responding. Bortlen's choices are the driving force behind each twist in the courtroom drama, which has evolved into a live-action thriller. We're discussing how YNW Melly's world is falling apart in ways that not even the most irrational street rumors could foresee. Everyone is aware by now that Bortlen's pleas sent shockwaves across social media, the courtroom, and the hip-hop scene. However, it's the repercussions that elevate the drama to a dramatic level, and all the street watchers, journalists, and fans are holding their breath. Since the family reaction is at the center of the disorder, let's start there. Melly's relatives did more than merely shake their heads or groan. In court, they blasted Bortlen, verbally, publicly, and emotionally. Imagine being in a courtroom seeing someone you used to call a brother accept a plea that exposes you while protecting them. Anger, tears, and incredulity. Everything was there. Phrases like snitch, traitor, and betrayer rang out louder than the gavel could ever hope to. The same rage erupted among live stream viewers. Instagram and Twitter were inundated with comments. Melly was sold out by Bortlen. It is survival, not loyalty. Stay strong, Melly. We've got you. It wasn't only legal tension. It was honest, personal, and primed for viralization. Let's now examine why it is so detrimental to Melly. Despite being carefully worded to avoid naming Bortlen by name, his confession provided prosecutors with a wealth of circumstantial evidence. Melly's defense is clouded by timelines, event sequences, and affirmations of what transpired following the murders. The strain was growing, as any legal expert observing could see. The 2027 retrial could be both a boon and a bane. Fortunately, Melly's attorneys have time to get ready. Unfortunately, any fresh piece of proof or confirmation could support the prosecution's case. Because of this, street culture is booming. Rappers, fans, and insiders are all analyzing every second of the court case. Fiery takes, reaction videos, and memes are catching on like wildfire. The decade's top snitch. The entire game was turned upside down by Bortlen. While he was asleep, Melly set his trap. In the court of public opinion, the story is evident. Bortlen just profited from Melly's survival by using her loyalty, which is currency. Because social media algorithms are magnifying it, the tale is becoming viral and unstoppable. Not to mention the legal ramifications. Witness tampering, accessory after-the-fact charges, and the Gunner plea. These subtleties are not insignificant. Every single one strengthens the prosecution's argument and builds a series of proof that complicates Melly's case. Melly's attorneys must work twice as to refute every nuanced point because Bortlen recognized activities that corroborate the prosecution's timeline. Even though he did not name anybody, every juror, public watcher, and analyst now has background information to understand Melly's actions, not in a vacuum, but as a component of a larger network in which Bortlen is legally validating bits of the puzzle. Let's turn to the response of the people and celebrities. Hip-hop insiders are contributing to the lively online community. Some are standing up for Bortlen, arguing that he did what anyone would do to avoid being executed or given a life sentence. Some are incensed, accusing him of being a traitor who went too far. Every word of the plea, every response from Melly's family, and every courtroom emotion are being examined in industry podcasts, Instagram live rants, and TikTok videos. It's more than just news now. Few court dramas in real life ever generate the kind of engagement that this cultural event does. Think of the courtroom as the final stage now. Melly's family is seen on camera criticizing Bortlen, the weight of history bearing down on every action, the court issuing orders, and lawyers whispering tactics. The stakes are viral, emotional, and social in addition to being legal. Because every fan who watches feels like they are a part of the drama. Social media makes sure that nothing is private, and that every viewpoint, response, and shout turns into material that becomes viral. Now let's engage in psychological combat. Bortlen's action altered more than just the law. Melly's confidence was shaken. Imagine being in limbo, facing a retrial that might go any way, while someone who was your ride or die just flipped, guaranteeing freedom for themselves. That mental strain is enormous, and fans are consuming it online, generating a whirlpool of excitement. What is Melly going to do next? Will he take legal or creative revenge? Will there be street loyalty to come back to haunt him? Each situation encourages views, clicks, and conversations. The ideal environment for content that goes viral. Let's now discuss the theories that fans are raving over. Even in the absence of a direct accusation, the prosecution may be able to verify dates, places, and activities if Melly's retrial goes forward with Bortlen's statement in the record. It's a game changer. Everything is being analyzed by fans. Does Melly appear guilty if Bortlen admits that he was the driver? Does witness tampering work against Melly if it is proven? This story is made to go viral, and every debate, hypothesis, and meme encourages participation. Meanwhile, the effects on the sector are already noticeable. My coworkers are muttering. Label executives are keeping a tight eye on everything. Every time a court video is released, social media numbers rise. The story is being created in real time, and every new detail feeds into the flames. The cultural repercussions, the snitch reputation, the loss of street credibility, and the public scrutiny will follow Bortlen for years, even though he may have legally survived. The worst part is still to come. It's the height of the street versus law dynamic. Supporters are divided. There are differences among hip-hop communities. Bortlen did what he had to do to survive, according to some. Others saw him as an opportunist, a traitor, and a man who valued independence over allegiance. One can sense the stress. The stakes are raised with each new post, tweet, and reaction video. Every influencer is analyzing the consequences, and every fan is demanding answers. It's not simply a legal drama. It is immensely clickable, cultural, and emotional. The story is far from finished. To sum up, Melly's retrial, which has been rescheduled until 2027, is approaching like a tempest. Because of Bortlen's appeal, the battlefield has changed, producing tension, expectation, and ambiguity. Media sources, fans, and street insiders are all observing, anticipating, and making predictions. It's more than just a trial. Loyalty, the law, and survival all intersect in this contemporary tale, where every little detail could lead to the next viral headline. Thus, one thing is clear when we observe the fallout. This drama has it all: social media pandemonium, street code, legal chess, betrayal, and an enamored fan base. This case is now a viral spectacle that will take over headlines, feeds, and discussions for months, if not years, as every action, comment, and response is magnified. The countdown starts. Who is going to make it through the storm? Who is going to get up? And who will suffer the consequences of their own decisions? The stage has been set for a confrontation between YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen that is equal parts legal drama and cultural eruption. You don't want to miss a second of it, I promise. How do you feel about Bortlen's unexpected action? Was it outright treachery or survival? Is the street code officially violated? Or could Melly make it through this commotion in the courtroom? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Every hot take is what we want. If this twist shakes you, hit the like button. Also, remember to subscribe so you can be the first to know about all the breaking drama. To ensure you don't miss any startling updates, click the bell symbol. Because one mistake between Melly and Bortlen may lead the internet to